Good day, everyone. So, to formally start, let me introduce myself. I am Abigail Catherine S. Alboro, and I'm going to report human needs. So, what is human needs? So, humans are motivated by psychological demands like sex, food, and safety as animals. Yet, they cannot escape their human predicament by satiating these needs. Only the unique human needs can spur people onto a reconciliation with nature. So these existential demands has developed throughout the development of human culture as a result of people's effort to understand their existence and prevent going crazy. So indeed, from from the year 1955 argued that 1K distinction between mentally healthy persons and neurotic or mad people is that the former create explanations for their existence that more closely match their overall human requirements. So, in other words, healthy people are more able to find ways effectively to reintegrate into society than those who are more crazy or mad people. So, it's already understandable that his theory is I can say that it's effective because um, as we will comprehend it is really it's really true. It's factual that healthy people are more good into socializing than those who are mad people, right? So the next one will be relatedness. So relationships and the desires for unity. So by the word relatedness, related. So to be able to unite with other people as well, right? Am I right? Okay, so relationship and the desire for unity with other person or group of people are the first human needs or existential needs. According to Fromm, there are three fundamental ways a person can interact with the outside world. First is the submission, second is power, and number three is love. So, to unite with the rest of the world, a person can submit to other, to a team, or to an organization by joining something greater than himself, or is whereas he is be able to transcend the separability of his own existence and comes to understand his identity in relation to the authority figure he has referred to. So, people in symbiotic relationships are drawn to one another not out of love, but out of a desperate needs for relatedness that such a relationship can never fully satisfy. So, our unconscious thoughts of animosity underlie the union. People who are in symbiotic relationships accuse their spouses of falling short fully meeting the requirements. So, from belief that love is the only means by which a person can become united with the world and at the same time achieve individuality and integrity, he found that these people found themselves seeking additional submission or power, and as a result, they became more and more dependent on their partners and less of an individual. So, according to him, love is a union with somebody or something outside oneself under the condition of retaining the separateness and integrity of our own selves. So, while love entails communion and sharing with another, it also gives each individual the opportunity to be different and special. So, it makes it possible for someone to sate their needs and by the means of relatedness without compromising their integrity or independence. So in love, two people merge into one while still being two. From described care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge as the four fundamental components shared by all true forms of love in the art of loving. So a person must love another person in order to show that they are prepared to look after them. But people can respect others only if they have knowledge of them. So to know others means to see them from their own point of view. So to know others, we need to care and also respect. It's thus care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge are all entwined in a love relationship. So all of those aspects are very important when it comes to loving, by the art of loving, right? So without it, without those fundamentals, I knew that that so-called love will not be that greatest love of all. Okay, so the next one will be transcendence. So humans are introduced into the world much like other animals, against their will and then taken away from it again. However, unlike other animals, humans are motivated by a yearning for transcendence, which is described as a desire to enter the realm of purposefulness and freedom from a passive and accidental life, similar to how relatedness can be sought after in either productive or counterproductive ways. Transcendence can be accomplished in either positive or negative ways, by either bringing life into the world or putting it to an end. People can transcend their passive nature. Only humans are aware of themselves as creators, despite the fact that other species can produce life through reproduction. And humans are also capable of various forms of creativity. Humans are also they have the ability to produce love, material, creation, religions, thoughts, laws, and arts. So by making something requires effort and concern for what we produce. But by putting it into an end, we can also transcend it and rise beyond the people that we have killed. That's so deep. Okay. So according to Fromm's 1973 argument in The Anatomy of Human Destructiveness, humans are the only creature that engages in malignant aggression or killing for purposes other than self-preservation. And potent passion in some people and civilizations, despite being a dominant and potent passion in some people and civilizations. Both some modern primitive societies and many prehistoric societies appear to have been unaware of it. Okay, so the next one will be rootedness. A third existential need is for rootedness, or the need to establish home or to feel to be at home again. So when humans evolved as a separate species, they lost their home in the natural world. At the same time, their capacity for thought enabled them to realize that they were without a home, without roots. So the consequent feelings of isolation and helplessness became unbearable. So rootedness can also be phylogenetically in the evolution of the human species. Fromm agreed with Freud that incestuous desires are universal, but he disagreed with Freud's belief that they are essentially sexual. According to Fromm, during the year 1955, incestuous feelings are based in the deep-seated craving to remain in or to return to all the enveloping womb or to all nourishing breast. Fromm was influenced by Johann Jacob Bachofen's ideas on early matriarchal societies. Unlike Freud, who believed that early societies were patriarchal, Bachofen held that the mother was a central figure in these ancient social groups. It was she was who provided the roots for her children and motivated them to either to develop their individuality and reason, to become fixated and incapable of psychological growth. So Fromm's strong preferences for Bachofen's mother-centered theory of the Oedipal situation over Freud's father-centered conceptions is consistent, which is his preference for older women. Oh, okay. So Fromm's first wife, Frida from Richmond, was more than 10 years older than Fromm. Imagine that. And his longtime lover, Karen Horney, was 15 years his senior. So Fromm's conception of the Oedipus complex as a desire to return to the mother's womb or breast to a person with a mothering function should be viewed in the light of his attraction to older women. So it's given the fact that, okay, so to summarize it all up, the rootedness is all about Fromm's belief about that is that he is what do you call that, inspired by he's inspired with the Bachofen's theory that it is a mother-centered theory, which is we will come back to our roots, to our world before we were born, and that's inside our mother's womb, right? So that it is so it is what it's all about, right? Okay, so the next one will be sense of identity. So the fourth human need is for a sense of identity, or the capacity to be aware of ourselves as a separate being, as a separate entity. So because we have been torn away from nature, we need to form a concept of ourselves to be able to say, I am, this is me. So I am the subject of my actions. So Fromm believed during the year 1981, he believed that primitive people are more closely with their clan and did not see themselves as individuals existing apart from their group. So even during medieval times, people were identified largely by their social role in the feudal hierarchy. So in agreement with Marx, Fromm believed that the rise of capitalism has given people more economic and political freedom. However, this freedom has given only a minority of people a true sense of L. The identity of most people still resides in their attachment to others or to institutions, such as their nations, religions, occupation, or social group. So, neurotics try to attach themselves to powerful people or to social or political institutions. Healthy people, however, have less need to conform to the herd, less need to give up their sense of self. They do not have to surrender their freedom and individuality in order to fit into society because they possess an authentic self of identity, so nobody can take that away from them. So if we will comprehend that, can we say that there are a lot of healthy people in our country? Right? So we will think about that, okay? Okay, so the next one will be the frame of orientation. So this is the final human need, and that's the frame of orientation. Being split off from the nature, human needs a roadmap, a frame of orientation to make their way through the world. Without such a map, humans would be confused and unable to act purposefully and consistently. From during the year 1973, a frame of orientation enables people to organize the various stimuli that impinge on them. people who possesses a solid frame organize the various um, possesses a possesses a solid frame of orientation that can make sense of these events and phenomena. So, but those who lack a reliable frame of orientation will nevertheless strive to put these events into some sort of framework in order to make sense of them. So, let's say for example, an American with a shaky frame of orientation and a poor understanding of history may attempt to understand the events of September 11 during the year 2001 by blaming them on their evil or bad people. Okay, so for the last one, it will be the summary of human needs. So overall, let me just summarize it overall. Okay, so in addition to physiological or animal needs, people are motivated by 5 distinctively human needs, which are the relatedness, transcendence, rootedness, a sense of identity, and the frame of orientation. So these needs have evolved from human existence as a separate species and are aimed at moving people toward our union with the natural world. So from believed that the lack of satisfaction of any of these needs is unbearable and results in insanity. Thus, people are strongly driven to fulfill them in some way or another, either positively or negatively. So, this is the end of my report. I hope you learned something from this. Thank you and God bless you all.